MrMaple.com, and I'm here with my friend Bryce Lane. Bryce, I want to ask you, what's your favorite maple?
Well, for crying out loud, I mean, Japanese maples are definitely at the top of my list for all kinds of reasons. But I remember years ago, JC Raulston chose to use the Japanese maple as the icon for the Arboretum. Right? And so what he did was, his goal was wherever you were in the Arboretum, you'd see at least one, if not two, Japanese maples. And so he literally planted based on that premise. I was so struck by that, I decided in my own garden, and my garden's small, 1/4 acre. Okay, I've gardened in the same spot for 33 years. Okay, but I chose to exploit that idea, that theme in my own garden because I love Japanese maples. One, they're weeds in the South, and I say that with a whole lot of affection. They're great plants to grow. They're, you know, a lot of people say they're too slow growing, and all these things that really aren't necessarily true. They grow great in North Carolina. Then there was a great Japanese maple grower in Cameron, North Carolina, Rex McDonald, who was a graduate of our program, student at JC. And I used to go to Rex's nursery, and you know, he'd let me pick out some plants. So now when you come to my garden, and you know, my friends and colleagues will agree that anywhere you are in my garden, you see at least 3, if not 4 Japanese maples. So even in a small garden, it doesn't matter. You can plant these trees. It's all different. There's diversity, leaf color, everything. It's just a great plant. How do you like that?
That sounds great.
The JC Raulston Arboretum features lots and lots of unique trees, but today we're going to focus on mainly the Japanese maples, which you can see everywhere, and it's a great way to fashion your garden where you can see maples from any spot in your garden.
Good morning, I'm Matt Nichols of MrMaple.com. We're here at the JC Raulston Arboretum, one of our favorite arboretums in the South, and also one of the best collections in the South of Japanese maples and other woody ornamentals.
Here we have Acer palmatum Oregon Sunset. You'll see this has a really unique branch structure that grows sort of outward, and the new growth is a little more divided, as you'll see here in a second. Bright cherry red. Real unique dwarf Japanese maple. Speaking of dwarf Japanese maple, here's Acer palmatum Kiyohime with a nice spreading habit. And another spreading habit, Angyo weeping. This is a weeping trident maple. It goes to cherry red in the fall. Recent introduction from the Angyo Prefecture of Japan. Here we have an Acer palmatum dissectum. The JC Raulston has lots of large Acer palmatum dissectums, especially this one here seen in the white garden. Here you'll see me, and again, with it on from the other side. Gorgeous, gorgeous structure here at the JC Raulston. And here's me and my father. I love this tree in the white garden for sure. Speaking of lace leaves that I love, this is Orangeola. This is the 2017 Japanese Maple of the Year with the North American Maple Society. Extremely cascading habit, extremely heat tolerant, great tree for the sun, and a great tree for small spaces. Shout out to Dr. Creech, who studied under JC Raulston. This is Acer Skuchak, a rare Mexican endangered sugar maple with amazing fall color, extremely heat tolerant. This maple grows natively further south than any other maple in the world, even populations in Guatemala. Here we are with Acer oblongum, a rare Chinese evergreen maple. This maple is actually closely related to the trident maples in section Pinophylla, but as you can see here, this tree here actually holds its leaves on for much, much longer in the season. And you know, in this climate here at the JC Raulston Arboretum, there actually be more of a semi-evergreen maple holding its leaves to probably late December. Acer oblongum is an excellent, gorgeous, fast-growing Chinese maple. They'll add a lot to your garden. Really long, elongated leaves. And like I said, the common name on this maple is a smooth leaf or leather leaf maple due to the glossiness of this leaf. Acer oblongum gets that name because it has those long, oblong leaves to it. And this is a tree you'll really enjoy in your landscape. There are many different forms of Acer oblongum across the United States, and even 3 at the JC Raulston, but this semi-deciduous form is extremely beautiful and is definitely one of our favorites. Here we have Acer japonicum green cascade. This is a selection by Art Wright of a heavily dissected cascading weeping full moon selection with excellent fall color. At the Japanese garden at the JC Raulston, you're sure to find lots and lots of Japanese maples, of course. Here we have Acer palmatum Hogyoku. This is one of the trifecta that J.D. Vertrees talks about planting with bright pumpkin orange, fall color. Now, this tree has amazing green, shiny, glossy leaves. Here we have Shirasawarum palmatifolium. This is a selection that's believed to be the parent tree to Acer palmatum Trompenberg, even though this one is actually a full moon maple and Trompenberg is considered a palmatum. Crazy.
We're here at the JC Raulston Arboretum in Raleigh, North Carolina on the NC State campus to take a look at this beautiful Acer palmatum Raulston. Raulston is a palmatum style foliage with a weeping form, which kind of contradicts what we think about weeping Japanese maples. Typically people think of a weeping Japanese maple as a lace leaf or a dissectum, but certainly this beautiful form shows what a palmatum style foliage can do in a weeping habit. This tree is a little bit taller, as you can see. Raulston, as staked, you can actually get quite a bit of height to this. Without staking this tree, you'll stay a small and bushier form. This variety has been staked up to add a little bit of height and a lot of beauty to the garden.
Here we have Seiryu. The name means blue-green dragons. This is an upright green lace-leaf Japanese maple. It's extremely vigorous, extremely heat-tolerant, a great grower, and is one that does really well in the landscape. Gives a soft feel to a large tree, bright red fall color, a tree that you're just gonna love in the landscape. This here is Acer palmatum Osakazuki. Goes to bright orange and red in the fall. Here we have Okakuji Nishiki, a green and white variegated type. One of my favorites. This is Acer japonicum Brytifolium. Really, really large leaves. Turns a bright pumpkin orange during the fall. Those large leaves get larger and larger with the more shade you give them. So if you put them in the sun, they're going to be smaller. Put them in the shade, they'll be about the size of a dinner plate. It's shockingly beautiful. Pendulum Julian. This is a bright cherry red in the spring. Fades in this green color. This tree is extremely rare in cultivation, but it's extremely beautiful cascading lace leaf. Gives you a lot of good color throughout the year. Kaku. This is a larger growing type that actually have that tightly layering habit to it. Really unique texture it adds to the garden. The Dawn Rainbow Snakebark Maple has unique variegation that's splotched across the leaves. As you can see right here, that white variegation shows up a lot more in the spring, fades out more during the summer. Golden Dragon. This is a fun tree by our friend Keith Johansson down in Texas, and extremely vigorous. We donated this to the JC Raulston, and this tree is just growing leaps and bounds. It's a Shantung maple, an Acer truncatum. And here we have Sir Walter Snarly at the JC Raulston. Love this. Love that. It's not a maple, but here we've got Acer japonicum Ataya. That's a large Acer japonicum type, and it looks like we're about to be talking about green hornet.
Here we have Acer palmatum dissectum green hornet. This is a gorgeous cascading weeping Japanese maple that has this awesome habit that really accentuates and brings that oriental feel to the garden. The unique thing about this green lace leaf is that it turns to a brilliant red in the fall. Most of your green lace leaves turn to yellows and oranges. This one turns to a bright red. And we're actually just a few weeks away from seeing this amazing fall color on green hornet. This is a great Japanese maple that do excellent in your landscape.
Acer pinophyllum, really rare, neat tree, but needs a lot of protection. It's not a very hardy tree, so it's not great for a lot of zones, but if you have a hot climate, this tree is really beautiful with its really thin leaves. Shishigashira, the lion's head, often a favorite, a classic from the 1700s list. The name means lion's head. Goes to bright yellows and oranges in the fall, but it gets that name lion's head or lion's mane because of the way it clusters real close to the branches and that bright yellow to orange fall color. Himisojo is a neat dwarf red, makes sort of a ball shape, but it holds its color real well in the shade. That's one of the real unique things about this neat dwarf Japanese maple that makes it stand out from a lot of the other red dwarf Japanese maples. Shigatsu Sawa means snipes flying up from the swamp in the morning. Some believe this to be the same as reticulatum, but has these reticulated veins that really show off, especially in the spring. This is about a midsummer photo you see here, but bright white and bright green in the early spring. Cappadocium gold coin, a golden Colosseum maple they've got here at the JC Raulston. Really beautiful if you hit it the right time of the season. This is Acer Palmatum EP. People often joked and told us it meant extra perfect, but it was actually standing for Edwin Polk. Introduced by Sherwood Aiken, this is a very heat-tolerant maple for the South. Acer Palmatum Arakawa has this alligator bark to it, really nice and rough, excellent for bonsai, really underrated for its fall color. Fall color is just like electric pink and red. Jiro Shidari is selected from Japan from Kobayashi Nursery. Named after Jiro Kobayashi, we actually go visit them this past fall, but a weeping palmate leaf that goes bright yellows to oranges in the fall is actually believed to be the parent tree to Ryusu, that we talked about earlier. Sir Walter Snarley again. Here we have Acer Palmatum Red Pygmy. This is a more dwarf form of a red lunar logan type. Acer Kawakami. This is a snake bark maple that I like quite a bit. We've got a lot of these in 1 gallon in the nursery. Emerald Lace is a selection from Charlotte, North Carolina, found by David Sabo. It's extremely heat tolerant, very vigorous, and does really well down here in the South. Goes to a bright red to deep maroon in the fall. Here we've got Hebner's Red. This is an excellent heat tolerant selection for the South. It holds its color well in the sun. It's shaded a little bit out here at the JC Raulston.
Here we have Acer Fabry, a rare Chinese evergreen maple. This maple is evergreen down to right around 15 degrees. It makes an excellent mid-sized tree in the landscape. It gets that common name of the emerald jade maple because it has these gorgeous emerald leaves that are really elongated and really unique for maples, because typically maples have more of that tri-lobe. This has more of that elongated leaf, which really, will really stump a lot of people in your garden when they walk in and say, "Hey, what's that?" So, "Hey, that's an Acer Fabry. That's a rare evergreen Chinese maple." And this has this gorgeous way it just stands up in the garden, and it's definitely a tree that will add a lot to your landscape. As you can see here, it has these glossy emerald leaves that really make this rare Chinese maple extremely beautiful. And the great thing about this tree is it's in section palmata, closely related to your typical Japanese maple, and so it has those shallow, non-invasive root systems, and really has that beautiful stature that you think of the Japanese maple. Acer Fabry is an excellent tree with amazing leaves, and it's going to be excellent in your garden.
Some of our friends from China talk about Acer Fabry and how it's used as an indoor plant because it's so shade tolerant. Really unique selection, great tree for the garden and landscape. You can't talk about the JC Raulston Arboretum or even evergreen maples without talking about the director, Mark Wethington, who's such an amazing plant collector and a great friend to us here at MrMaple. The JC Raulston is a great partner resource for us and nurseries, and we can't thank them enough for all that they do to support the industry here in North Carolina. Make sure to visit the JC Raulston, participate in their programs, become a member, and take advantage of everything the JC Raulston has to offer. And as always, don't forget to shop on MrMaple.com. Thanks for watching. Like this video. Have a question? Discuss it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. You can support this channel by shopping at MrMaple.com.